Hi again. This time I wanted to talk about the anime Black Bullet. I just finished watching it and I wanted to give my review about it because I can't really talk about it with anybody else. So, Black Bullet, it's 13 episodes long and it's based on a light novel, which the light novels are they're illustrated somewhat and they're smaller than a normal novel. You know, it's a light novel. And it's not based on a manga, which I was really happy about because I hate when the anime are based off of a manga and they don't follow through everything. Because the animes inevitably have a different ending than the manga because the manga are still going on. Unless you have Sailor Moon or Dragon Ball Z or Naruto or any of those things, which put so much filler in there or they change things and it's stupid. But anyway, I actually like that it's based on a light novel. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I said there'd be spoilers. There'll probably be spoilers. Anyway, so it ends at episode 13. It looks like they might do more episodes depending on how popular it is, because I think it covers. There's seven volumes out right now of the light novel, and I think it only covers up to about volume 4. So they might be waiting for a couple more volumes to come out before they do more episodes, because there definitely is a lot of potential for new episodes. But anyway, so the Black Bullet is set in the future in Tokyo, Japan, and these things called Gastrea have appeared. They're big, like parasitic creatures, and they vary in size from stage ones, which can be as small as like about this big, to stage 4, which are huge and like I don't know, like a stadium. They even have big ones called Stage 5, but they are like some weird evolution thing that are separate from Stage 4. So they can grow only up to Stage 4, and then Stage 5 is like something weird. Stage 5 shows up, you're dead, you're screwed. But they can infect people by biting them, and usually it's just from biting them. But if they ever infected a pregnant woman and she wasn't killed right away, it would infect her unborn child, and that creates what's called the cursed children. They're little girls. They're always girls because of the genetic thing, and they're really awesome. They can fight and beat up stuff. And it's only a matter of time before they die, though, because they still have what's called corrosion. And if once you reach 50% corrosion or more, you turn into a Gastrea. And so the little girls, they only have a certain amount of time before, they're going to turn into one. But a lot of them are used as partners for these people called promoters, which are they're civil officers. They basically fight the Gastrea. They're the fully human counterpart to the part Gastrea little girls, and they use these things called this thing called Veranium. It's a black metal, and they use black bullets. They're Veranium bullets, and they're the only things that can actually kill the Astrea, because normal bullets, I mean, these things will heal really quickly from them. Normal bullets don't really have much of an effect. But even with Veranium, it can sometimes still be difficult to kill them. Usually the little girls, the little cursed children, they're called initiators. They'll go and they'll rip the heads off of them, and they'll be fine. If they get bit, usually it's not a big problem, unless they get bit way too much or their corrosion rate's already really high. But for the most part, they're usually fine. And they can endure a lot. Like the main little girl, Enju, she gets like shot like a billion times at one point, and she's like fine the next day. She's like, oh yeah, cool. And so the main character, his name is Satomi Rentaro, and he lost his parents many years ago, like 13 years ago, and in the process he lost his left eye, his right arm, and his right leg. But you don't find this out till later. Right before he's about to fight this super hard to beat guy who kind of looks like an evil tuxedo mask, and he's like, I've got a metal arm and a metal leg, and I'm gonna beat the crap out of you, which is really awesome. And he's only like 17 at this point, I think, because it's 13 years after he lost his parents, and he still kind of, he really wants to take care of little cursed children, but a lot of people don't like them because they're part Gastrea, and the Gastrea are still around. They nearly wiped out the entire world, but what they did is they created sort of a barrier of vibranium. They're like little monoliths. They don't cover the entire thing, but they cover enough that they sort of keep most of the Gastrea out. Sometimes they get inside, but it's not too often. So their whole job is to go and kill the Gastrea that have come inside somehow, or to keep the ones outside at bay, because if you got a really large one at bay or outside, sometimes that can create some issues. But anyway, he's trying to take care of the cursed children because he really thinks like little Enju is like his little sister, and he just loves her and doesn't want her to die or anything. Doesn't want any of the little girls to die, and it's really sweet. And he eventually rises through the ranks of the civil officers and becomes really awesome. And it's just kind of about them fighting the Gastrea, him meeting new people, new civil officers, new civil officer pairs, because they're kind of all from different agencies. Like, I don't know why it's a private thing. I don't know why the government gets involved all the time. Why aren't these people part of the government? I don't understand why. I don't understand how this whole thing works. They don't explain a whole ton. They explain like some backstory, but not really. It's really cool. Like, the action scenes are really cool, and the emotions, like, you really feel them, but they don't explain a lot. And the show ends after a major battle, but you can tell that even though it's a major battle, it's not the end of it. Like, there's a lot of sort of government espionage or treason or things going on that hasn't quite come to a head. But then in the last one, they also completely like do a 180 with this one character who's like, supposed to be like super nice and is Rentaro's love interest, and then she goes kind of evil, and it's like, but no, and it ends a little bit after that. It's just like, no, what did you do to me, anime? Why? So yeah, it's I would recommend watching it. It's really short. Well, not really short. It's 13 episodes. It's interesting. There is blood and gore, but nothing too major. It's less intense than Shingeki no Kyojin, because that show's like, oh my god. It also does remind me of Attack on Titan because of the sort of the wall aspect. As soon as I saw that monolith wall, I was like, it's Attack on Titan. Oh my god. It's not surprising. A lot of times the light novel authors and mangaka and all those people, they tend to pull from common themes or themes that are popular at the time. It's different enough that you don't really compare it too much to Attack on Titan, although you definitely get that vibe. So yeah, those are my feelings on it. I'm currently trying to find another anime to watch. I have a real hard time trying to find anime to watch, especially because typically if I find one, it's like, oh, you should like this. But then if I find there's a manga for it, I tend to read the manga instead of watching the anime, only because you get way more story out of it. I'm a big story person. I have to have all the story. And so sometimes I'll watch stuff. I actually read most of Attack on Titan before I started watching it, and I haven't watched all of it because my husband's only seen the first 2 episodes. He hasn't read anything, and I'm like, I have to watch it with him and see his reactions because there's so much cool stuff in it. But yeah, I don't know if I'll keep doing anime reviews, but I just recently watched that. I might keep doing reviews if I see new ones. It's probably not going to be anything that you'll be able to put on a calendar like, oh, next week you'll have a new anime review. I don't know. My schedule is weird for things. I just make videos about what I want when I want to. I'm sorry. Hopefully there will be some new book reviews out soon-ish. I'm still really, really not through Feast for Crows. I have to read more books in the meantime and do reviews of those. Anyway, I hope you found this interesting. I don't know. But I'll see you guys later. Bye.